starts feeling unbearable. And Spirit is saying it so clearly at the very beginning of this reading. Someone is in pain over you. They are in love, and they do not want the distance between you anymore. The first thing I'm seeing here is the Three of Swords, and wow, this tells me there is genuine heartbreak, genuine heaviness, genuine grief in this person's chest when it comes to you. I do not feel somebody pretending. I do not feel somebody being dramatic for attention. I feel a person who has been carrying the emotional cost of separation, silence, delay, or disconnection in a very real way. And what makes it even more intense is that I feel this pain is mixed with love, which means they cannot simply turn it off and move on as easily as they may have tried to right beside that. I'm seeing the King of Cups, and that changes everything. Because this says the pain is not random, it is coming from deep feeling, deep attachment, deep emotional truth. This person may not always be the easiest to read from the outside. They may have kept a lot hidden. They may have tried to act composed, measured, controlled, or emotionally contained. But Spirit is making it very clear that under the surface there is so much heart here, so much care, so much softness. And I really do feel like part of what hurts them most is knowing how much love is in them for you. While the distance remains where it is, I keep hearing something very clearly. This is hurting me more than they know. That line lands right in the chest. Because I feel this person has not shown the full depth of their suffering. Not openly, not completely. They may have given hints, they may have gone quiet, they may have looked distracted, heavier, more emotional, more withdrawn than usual. But the full truth is that the distance has gotten inside them. It has reached the places where people keep the feelings they do not want the world to see. The energy around you here feels like the Empress, and I love that because it tells me the pain is this strong because they do not see you as replaceable. You are not interchangeable in their heart. You are not just another person they happen to feel something for. Number, you feel precious to them, deeply valuable, deeply magnetic, deeply comforting. I feel like part of their suffering comes from the fact that your energy has become a place of emotional nourishment in their world, and right now they are feeling the absence of that nourishment intensely. Then I'm seeing the Six of Cups, and wow, this gives the whole reading such tenderness because this tells me they are remembering, revisiting, replaying. They are going back over little details, little moments, little things you said, the way you looked, the way your energy felt around them. So this is not only pain in the abstract, it is pain with memory attached, pain with sweetness attached, pain with longing attached. And honestly, that can be some of the deepest pain of all because the heart is not grieving an idea. It is grieving a real emotional experience it still wants back. Another message keeps rising very strongly. I don't want it to stay like this. That one is powerful because it tells me their pain is not passive, it is not hopeless, it is not detached sorrow. It is the kind of pain that wants movement, wants healing, wants reunion, wants the distance to end. This person does not only miss you, they want change. They want the emotional space between you to close. They want to move toward you, hear from you, feel you near again, or at the very least stop living in the suspended state where love exists. But connection feels too far away. Then I'm seeing the Chariot, and that is a strong sign that inside this person, the desire to do something is building. The suffering is no longer content to stay still. The longing is beginning to want direction. I feel like the more they sit in this, the more obvious it becomes to them that they cannot live forever in silence, distance, or unresolved feeling. Something in them wants to move, to bridge, to close the gap. So the opening message of this reading is this. Someone is in pain over you because their feelings are real, their love has gone deep, and the distance is no longer something their heart can quietly tolerate. They are carrying heartbreak, memory, tenderness, and a growing need for the separation to end. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. Do not mistake their silence for peace. Some people go quiet when love becomes too big to hide well and too painful to carry easily. That is exactly where this person is now. That is what I'm getting here. Not just sadness, not just nostalgia, not just one emotional night where everything hits at once. This feels like ongoing pain, the kind that lingers into ordinary moments, the kind that follows a person into sleep, into silence, into routine, into the places where they hoped distraction would save them. The first card I'm seeing here is the Five of Cups. And wow, this tells me there is regret wrapped all through this person's heart. They are not only hurting because of distance, They are hurting because some part of them feels that things did not have to become this way. There may be words unsaid, effort not made, timing mishandled, fear allowed to speak louder than love. And now they are left sitting with the emotional aftermath of that. I keep hearing something very clearly. I hate that it got this far. That line feels important because it tells me this person is not comfortable with the separation anymore. Whatever pride, confusion, hesitation, or emotional stubbornness once kept them still, it is not protecting them now. It is hurting them now. They may be realizing that every day the distance remains, the pain deepens, because the heart is no longer pretending that this is temporary or easy. Right beside that, I'm seeing the Nine of Swords. So yes, this gets into their head, late at night, in the quiet. In the moments when the world stops making enough noise to drown out the truth, this person may replay what happened. Replay what was said, replay what they wish they had done differently, replay how it felt to be close to you, and then feel the emptiness of not having that closeness now. And the energy around you here feels like the star, which is so beautiful and so sad at the same time, because it tells me they still see you as hope, as healing, as the person their heart reaches for when it imagines relief. So even the pain has a direction. It points towards you. It is not random suffering. It is love suffering at a distance from what it most wants. Another message keeps coming through strongly. They don't want comfort from anyone else. That lands deep because I feel this person may have people around them, things to do. Life still moving on the outside. But internally, the place that actually wants soothing is calling your name. They are not craving random attention. They are not craving a substitute. They are craving the end of this distance. They want the particular comfort of you, your voice, your energy, your softness, the exact way you make their heart exhale. Then I'm seeing the Two of Wands, and that tells me they are not only suffering. They are also looking ahead, asking themselves how much longer they can bear this version of reality. There is a decision energy rising here. A crossroads, the pain is pushing them to consider action, consider speaking, consider bridging the gap somehow, because when love hurts this much, eventually the heart starts saying enough, enough distance, enough silence, enough standing still while everything meaningful stays out of reach. And then the Six of Swords in reverse appears, which confirms it even more. They have not emotionally moved on. They have not found peace in the distance. They have not successfully crossed into a calmer emotional place without you. In fact, I feel like they keep emotionally returning to the exact point where the connection still lives. The heart keeps circling back. The memories keep circling back. The longing keeps circling back. I keep hearing another line very clearly. This is not getting easier. That is the truth of it. And I think part of what shocks them is that time is not doing what they thought it would do. Time is not reducing the feeling. Time is making the absence more visible, making the love clearer, making the cost of separation more undeniable. The final card I'm seeing here is Temperance, and that is such an important ending for this wave because it tells me what they truly want is healing, not chaos, not a dramatic scene for no reason. They want peace restored, harmony restored, the emotional current between you mended. So the deeper message here is this. Someone is in pain over you because they love you, regret the distance, cannot find peace away from you, and are reaching the point where their heart no longer wants to endure separation in silence. This pain is becoming the very thing that pushes them toward truth, movement, and the desire to close the gap. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. The reason this hurts them so much is because their soul no longer sees this as distance alone. It sees it as being away from where love still lives, and that kind of pain does not stay quiet forever. Their heart is no longer asking whether it misses you, how much longer it can bear this. There is something about this next wave of energy that feels like a heart pacing the floor after midnight. Because loving you from a distance is no longer something this person can romanticize. It hurts now. It presses now. It interrupts now. And what I'm getting strongly is that this pain is not only emotional in a vague way. It has become personal, restless. The kind of ache that follows someone through the whole day and then waits for them again at night. The first card I'm seeing here is the Ten of Wands, and wow, this tells me the distance has become too heavy for them. It feels like they are carrying unsaid words, unanswered feelings, old memories, fresh longing, and the weight of everything they still have not done about it. This person may look functional on the outside. They may still go to work, talk to people, handle responsibilities, keep a straight face. But inwardly, Spirit is showing me somebody overburdened. Love is sitting on their chest, and the distance is making that weight harder and harder to manage. I keep hearing something clearly. I can't keep holding this by myself. That line lands deeply, because it tells me their pain is reaching a threshold. This is not a person who can comfortably keep carrying all of this in silence for much longer. The heart wants relief. The heart wants expression. The heart wants something to change. Right beside that, I'm seeing the Two of Swords in reverse, and that is huge. Because it says the stalemate is starting to crack, the emotional freeze is starting to crack. The place where they told themselves, just stay still, just don't feel it too much, just let time handle it, is starting to fail. This person is beginning to realize that doing nothing is also a decision, and it is hurting them. The energy around you here feels like the Queen of Cups, which is beautiful because it tells me the pain is tied directly to tenderness. They are not only suffering because they are lonely, they are suffering because they love you softly, deeply, in a way that keeps reaching for your emotional presence. They miss your warmth. They miss the feeling of being understood by you. They miss the comfort of your energy, so the distance does not just feel empty, it feels emotionally cold to them. Another message keeps coming through strongly. They want your comfort more than they want their pride. That one matters because I feel pride has absolutely played a role here. Fear has absolutely played a role here. But now the missing is outweighing both. The next card I'm seeing is the Knight of Cups. And that tells me the pain is beginning to turn into desire for action, desire for communication, desire for closeness. I really do feel like this person wants to come towards you with feeling, with softness, with honesty. Their heart does not want to stay trapped in the ache forever. It wants to reach, it wants to offer. It wants to close the emotional distance if there is any way to do so. Then I'm seeing the Six of Cups, and wow, this is where the reading gets even more tender, because this says they are living with memory, not just remembering you once in a while, living with memory. Certain places, songs, words, times of day, random details, all of it can pull them back into the feeling of you, and those memories are not neutral. They are sweet enough to make the distance more painful because every remembered tenderness reminds the heart what it is missing. Now, I keep hearing another line clearly. They still go back to the moments that felt like home. That line says so much because it tells me you are not only desired, you are emotionally associated with relief, warmth, recognition, softness. And once a person connects you with that kind of feeling, distance becomes more than inconvenience. It becomes grief. The final card I'm seeing here is the Chariot, and that is powerful because it says the pain is creating movement. Not instantly, maybe not without resistance, but definitely movement. The suffering is becoming too loud to ignore. The love is becoming too strong to keep frozen. The need to end the distance is becoming more urgent in them. So the message in this next wave is this. Someone is in pain over you because their heart has run out of ways to make separation feel acceptable. The weight is too much, the tenderness is too alive, the memories are too strong, and the longing is beginning to push them toward action. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. This person is not only missing you in passing moments, they are carrying you hour by hour through ordinary life, through private ache, through the parts of the day where no one else can see how much their heart is straining toward you. And the distance, it is not making them forget. It is making them feel just how much they love you and just how much they need this to change soon. Now, there is a feeling here like somebody keeps standing at the edge of a bridge looking at the distance between you and realizing it no longer feels survivable in the way it once did. That is what this next movement feels like. Not just pain, not just longing, but the point where the heart begins to understand that if nothing changes, the ache will keep deepening. The first card I'm seeing here is the Eight of Cups in reverse. And wow, this tells me they have not emotionally walked away from you at all. They may have tried to create space. They may have tried to act like the distance was necessary, manageable, or even wise. But inwardly, no, their heart keeps turning back. Their feelings keep returning. Their emotional body keeps circling the connection instead of leaving it behind. So if they hoped time apart would make everything lighter, Spirit is saying it did the opposite. It made your importance louder. I keep hearing something clearly. I'm still there, emotionally. That line says everything. Because it tells me this person's heart never really crossed the distance. Their body may be here, their days may be moving forward, their life may be continuing on the surface, but emotionally they are still standing in the place where you matter. Right beside that, I'm seeing the Four of Cups in reverse, and that is huge because it says numbness is ending. Avoidance is ending. The ability to sit with the emotional emptiness and call it fine is ending. This person is waking up to how much they want more than this silence, more than this gap, more than this starving version of connection. The energy around you here feels like the Empress. And I love that so much because it tells me what hurts them is not only the absence of any person. It is the absence of your energy specifically, your warmth, your softness, your emotional richness, the way your presence made things feel fuller, brighter, more alive. Spirit keeps showing me that the distance feels painful because they are not just away from someone they care about. They are away from the person who made their heart feel nourished. Another message keeps coming through strongly. They miss how alive they felt with you. That line lands deep because this tells me their pain is not only about missing your face, your voice, or your attention. It is also about missing who they were in your presence. More open, more tender, more human, more awake. Then I'm seeing the Page of Wands, and this gives the reading a spark of movement. Because yes, there is suffering here, but there is also a building desire to do something, to break the pattern, to stop enduring the ache passively. I feel like this person may be reaching the point where the emotional pain turns into initiative. Little thoughts of reaching out, little bursts of courage, little moments where they think, maybe I can't keep leaving this untouched. And then the Nine of Cups appears, which is such a powerful message because it tells me what they want is not just relief from pain. They want joy back, connection back, warmth back. They are not longing for drama. They are longing for emotional fulfillment. They want the version of life that includes your energy in it again. That is what the heart is reaching toward. I keep hearing another line very clearly. I don't want distance. I want us. That is the truth of it. Even if they have not said it out loud, even if they are still scared, even if pride has not fully loosened its grip yet, the heart wants reunion. The heart wants closeness. The heart wants the separation to end. And something else feels very clear here. They are starting to understand that missing you is no longer just an emotion they can privately manage. It is becoming a direction, a pull, a need to cross what was left unfinished and move toward the person their heart still reaches for when it wants peace. The final card I'm seeing here is Strength, and that is beautiful because it tells me this person is trying to gather the courage to face what they feel, honestly. Not just endure it, not just carry it, face it. So the deeper message in this wave is this. Someone is in pain over you because their heart cannot pretend anymore that the distance is acceptable. They are still emotionally with you, still longing for your energy, still missing the life in themselves that your presence awakened, and they are beginning to understand that love this deep cannot stay silent forever. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here. The distance is no longer teaching them detachment. It is teaching them devotion. It is showing them exactly where their heart still lives and exactly how much it wants the road back to you. That realization is getting stronger now. And once love reaches that point, it starts looking for a way home. They can feel the return growing louder than the fear now. Very. It feels like somebody is carrying your name in the center of their chest, like a pulse they cannot quiet no matter how carefully they try to behave. That is the energy here. What I'm getting in this next movement is that the pain has ripened into determination, not instant action yet, maybe, but a very real inner shift. Because there comes a point when distance stops feeling noble, stops feeling necessary, stops feeling like something a heart can survive with grace, and starts feeling like separation from the very thing that gives that heart life. I feel this person is reaching that point now. The first card I'm seeing here is the Knight of Swords, and wow, this tells me the desire to break through the distance is getting sharper, stronger, harder to contain. Their thoughts about you are no longer drifting quietly. They are gaining urgency. There may be moments where this person suddenly wants to say everything, suddenly wants to close the gap, suddenly wants to stop pretending they can keep bearing this and still feel whole. The pain is no longer only emotional, it is becoming directional, it wants movement. I keep hearing something very clearly. I can't stay on this side of the silence much longer. That line lands hard. Because it tells me the distance is no longer being experienced as something temporary and manageable. It is being experienced as a wall a wall between them and the person their heart still reaches for. And I feel like that wall is starting to feel unbearable now. They may wake up with it, go to sleep with it, carry it into ordinary moments. The mind may try to stay functional, but the heart keeps pressing against the same truth. They do not want the separation anymore. Right beside that, I'm seeing the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And that is beautiful because it tells me part of them is beginning to believe there can be a way out of this coldness, a way back toward warmth, a way back toward contact, a way back toward feeling less emotionally shut out from what they love. So yes, there is pain here, absolutely. But there is also a shift in the pain now, a movement away from pure grief and toward hope, toward repair, toward reunion energy. I feel like this person is starting to understand that if they want relief, real relief, they cannot keep waiting for magic to do the work. At some point, the heart has to choose movement. The energy around you here feels like temperance. And I love that because it tells me what they long for is not only passion, not only dramatic reunion, not only the thrill of seeing you again. They long for healing with you, balance with you. The emotional peace that comes from knowing the bond is no longer stretched thin by silence and uncertainty. This person wants the distance to end because the distance feels unnatural to their heart. Being away from you does not feel like harmony to them. It feels like disconnection from something sacred. Another message keeps coming through strongly. They are tired of pretending space is helping, that one says so much. Because I think for a while they may have told themselves that the distance had a purpose, that maybe it was necessary, that maybe it would make things clearer. But Spirit is showing me that the opposite has happened. The space has not dissolved the love. It has clarified it. It has not numbed the attachment. It has exposed it. It has not made them peaceful. It has made them ache more honestly. Then I'm seeing the lovers, and wow, this is where the reading gets so deep, because this says their pain is tied to recognition, to knowing, to the soul level feeling that this bond is not random, not replaceable, not easy to walk away from without consequence. So when they think about ending the distance, they are not only thinking about ending discomfort, they are thinking about moving back towards something their spirit already knows matters. And then the Chariot appears, which is powerful confirmation that this longing is starting to gather force. It wants action, it wants courage, it wants the road between you crossed somehow. So the deeper message in this wave is this: someone is in pain over you because their love has reached the point where separation no longer feels tolerable, and their heart is beginning to push them toward movement, toward repair, and toward the end of the emotional distance that has been hurting them so deeply. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here: this person is not only missing you, they are reaching for you, even in silence. Their heart is already leaning across the gap. Their spirit is already asking for the bridge, and their pain is becoming the very thing that teaches them they do not want to live far away from love anymore. That lesson is getting louder now, and it is changing everything. Soon, the heart will choose closeness over pride, and once it does, the road back to you will open fully. And here at the final part of this reading, it feels like the distance itself is starting to tremble. That is the strongest thing coming through now. Not because time suddenly healed everything, not because the pain vanished, not because this person became comfortable without you, number. It trembles because love has finally become stronger than the arrangement that kept it quiet. The first card I'm seeing here is Judgment. And wow, this is the wake-up call. The moment when the heart can no longer sleep inside its own excuses. So what I'm getting is that this person has reached a point of inner realization that changes everything. They know now, in a way they cannot unknow, that what they feel for you is real, that the distance hurts because the love is real, and that staying silent is no longer protecting them from anything. It is only prolonging the pain. I keep hearing something very clearly. I don't want this to stay unfinished. That line is the heart of the whole reading. Because it tells me this person is no longer willing to romanticize longing from far away. They are no longer satisfied to just miss you in silence, carry you in memory, and suffer privately while the connection remains untouched. Their heart wants conclusion, not through ending, but through truth, through movement, through closing the gap that has been hurting them. Right beside that, I'm seeing the Ace of Cups, beautiful. because this says the force moving them is love, not guilt alone, not loneliness alone, not temporary emotion alone, love, soft love, deep love, the kind that keeps reaching for a person even after time, silence, and fear have all tried to interfere. And that matters because it tells me the pain is not empty, it is meaningful. It is the ache of a heart that still knows exactly where it wants to be. The energy around you here feels like the star. And I love that so much because it tells me you are still the place in their inner world that feels like healing, warmth, and hope. So when Spirit says they want the distance to end, it is not only because they hate missing you. It is because some part of them still believes peace lives in your direction. Your energy feels like relief to them, like a return to something true. And that is why the longing has become so powerful. It is not pulling them toward chaos. It is pulling them toward what feels emotionally right. Then I'm seeing the Eight of Wands. And wow, this is the confirmation that communication or movement wants to happen. The energy is no longer content to stay suspended. There is acceleration here, pressure turning into expression, feeling turning into momentum. So if you have sensed that something is building, yes, something is building. This person's heart is getting tired of waiting for perfect conditions. The need to close the distance is beginning to outrun the fear of what happens next. Another message keeps coming through strongly. They would rather risk the truth than keep living in this ache. That is powerful because it tells me the pain has done its work. It has clarified, it has stripped away illusions, it has shown them what matters. And now that clarity is starting to create courage. Then the Ten of Cups appears, and that is such a beautiful final confirmation because this says what they want is not only relief from pain. It is joy with you, warmth with you, peace with you. The emotional homecoming that comes when love is no longer kept far away by silence or pride. I feel this person can imagine happiness with you very vividly now, and that image is becoming stronger than the fear that once kept them still. So the deepest message in this final wave is this: someone is in pain over you because they are in love. The distance has become emotionally unbearable, and their heart is finally reaching the point where it wants truth, movement, and reunion more than it wants protection. The love is real, the ache is real, and the desire to end the separation is growing louder by the day. And Spirit keeps whispering one last thing here: do not mistake their pain for weakness. Sometimes pain is the sacred fire that burns away denial. Sometimes pain is what teaches the heart that distance is no longer an option, it can survive comfortably. Sometimes pain is what pushes love out of silence and into action. That is where this person is now. They are no longer only missing you. They are realizing they do not want a life that keeps you this far away from their heart. And once a person reaches that truth, the road towards you starts opening whether they are fully ready or not. Because love has already decided. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. It trembles because love has finally become stronger than the arrangement that kept it quiet. The first card I'm seeing here is Judgment. And wow, this is the wake-up call. The moment when the heart can no longer sleep inside its own excuses. So what I'm getting is that this person has reached a point of inner realization that changes everything. They know now, in a way they cannot unknow, that what they feel for you is real, that the distance hurts because the love is real, and that staying silent is no longer protecting them from anything. It is only prolonging the pain. I keep hearing something very clearly. I don't want this to stay unfinished. That line is the heart of the whole reading. Because it tells me this person is no longer willing to romanticize longing from far away. They are no longer satisfied to just miss you in silence, carry you in memory, and